In this country, what are the things you need a license for?
Driving.
To buy a gun.
How about hunting?
I guess if you want to sell liquor.
How about watching TV?
Watching TV.
No, anybody could watch whatever they dang well please, I guess.
Yeah, well, over in Great Britain, you can't. You have to go to the government, get a license. You have to pay for a license just for the privilege of watching television.
Get out of here.
No, in order to watch TV, just to watch it.
I'd be in jail for life.
We sent our reporter, Jeff Stilson, over to the UK to find out why it is you have to get a license to watch free TV.
I'd like to know that.
Well, let's watch.
Hail, Great Britain, cradle of civilized society, home of Shakespeare, the Queen, and TV licenses? I was amazed to find out that unlike the United States, where the airwaves are free, you Brits have to have a license from the government to own a television set. Cashing out £86.50 each year for the right to own a TV seemed weird. I couldn't imagine how anyone could hope to enforce this strange law. But then I met Ivan and Andy, TV license officers. Their mission? To make sure everyone with a TV has a license to watch it.
You move the aerial to the direction that we suspect the television, and by picking up a signal on the graph here, we can actually locate within a couple of feet the location of the television.
It isn't easy catching people watching TV without a license. You have to be prepared.
I'll get the visits off the area manager, make sure I've got 178, I've got my ID card, I have the envelopes, make sure I've got sufficient pens, make sure I drink my coffee and put that away, and then basically I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go out. Channel 4. Yeah, right. Interesting. Yes, it's quite a strong signal.
It's not as glamorous as it looks. TV cheats are everywhere, and they can be pretty tough characters.
He said, according to our system, computer, you don't have a TV licence, and I says no. And he says, do you have a television set? And I said, yeah.
Yvette is a mother of 4 who was at home sick when she was caught doing some flagrant unlicensed viewing.
Well, he says, you'll be prosecuted.
63% of those cited for not having a license are women, and many of them, like Yvette, are unemployed mothers.
So if you don't pay a television license fee, then you're considered a criminal.
You're considered to be breaking the law.
I made a few payments, and I think it was the week before Christmas, and I couldn't afford to send any more. And a warrant was issued for my arrest.
Now, I always thought the airwaves were free.
Well, basically they are, but in fact the right to use the airways, the government, I mean, there is a government regulation that actually says that in fact to use the airways you have to have a licence.
And if you don't, you can expect a visit from Ivan and Andy, TV license officers.
How did you manage to find me? I made sure you weren't able to pick up my signal.
See, I told you, Frank.
Fluke.
Why risk it? With every address on our central computer, it's only a matter of time before we catch you. And then you could be watching horror.
If they catch you, you'll pay a fine of up to £1,000. And if you can't pay the fine, you may end up watching TV in jail.
So this is your first offense, and you had to go to prison for it?
Yes.
Did you have your own cell, or?
No, I was in a cell with someone who was a drug addict.
It was terrible what they did to me. But I was an innocent and I didn't know what to expect when I was going there. It was very upsetting for us all.
It was humiliating, degrading. I can't understand why they sent me there. I never expected that. Never.
Do you find it absurd that someone who doesn't pay their television license fee can end up in a prison cell next to someone who has been charged with murder?
Well, I think they're unlikely to end up in the same prison, let alone in adjoining cells.
Obviously, a fine defaulter may find herself next to somebody being charged with quite a serious offence.
Like?
Well, it could be murder.
There was one there next door to me, attempted murderer, murderers, arsonists.
Prostitution, shoplifting, assault.
Absurd or not, 300 women are sent to prison each year for failing to pay TV license funds. Women serving hard time for owning a TV. Hey, you better stop them before they watch again. It's all in a day's work for Ivan and Andy, TV license officers.
Right, switch this on. Now I can select from this, pressing in the channel. I'll start the house marker going. A lot of quiz programs are on, very popular. I press that again and I get a recording of what I've been picking up.
When Andy and Ivan get rolling in their detectomobile, no TV cheat can breathe safely, even if they're living near someone else's TV.
Whose television set is it?
Mine.
And Julie received a fine?
Julie was fined and taken to court for a television set which didn't belong to her. They just didn't want to listen. They just wanted to make an example of her, because so many people now cannot afford a TV license.
I know it's wrong. I'm not standing here saying it's okay not to have your telly on and not have a licence. But I don't think I should have been sent to prison for it as a punishment. It seems a bit severe for just watching the TV.
Well, it's a matter for government, not for the BBC. Basically, our job is, in fact, to act within the law, not to decide the law.
I think we basically take the view it's a matter for the BBC, and they've got to have some mechanism for enforcing the licence fee system.
I'm a great believer that this country on the whole is a very civilised country. We've got a very good legal tradition, and I want to see people treated justly. And I think the notion of locking women up for not paying their television licenses, I think most people would feel sort of almost naturally that there's something a bit wrong with that. We should have a better way of dealing with this problem.
Whatever the concerns of prison governors, two men stand between freedom and the anarchy of unlicensed viewing. Ivan and Andy, TV license officers. Hear that knock at your door? Quick, hide the TV. Yes, this one, the one my voice is coming out of. Hurry, before it's too late.